A comment I made at a birthday dinner turned into a family-wide fallout. I thought it was just a casual remark, one offhand comment over appetizers. But within 24 hours, I was getting blocked, blasted in the family group chat, and accused of ruining everything. All because I told the truth. My name's Taylor, I'm 31, and I live in Columbus, Ohio. My family? Huge. Loud. Drama-prone. I've got 2 sisters, a brother, and enough aunts, uncles, cousins, and in-laws to fill a small high school gym. We do dinner for everything: graduations, baby showers, retirements, someone got a new grill, parties. But birthdays are sacred. Especially for my sister Jenna. She turned 35 last month, and as usual, she wanted the works. Private room at a fancy downtown steakhouse, custom cake from some boutique bakery, a dress code, seriously, and a 4-page "Do Not Play This Around Me" Spotify playlist for the night. Extra? Absolutely. But she's always been that way. And we've always played along. Because in our family, Jenna runs the show. So when we sat down at the long mahogany table, 17 of us packed elbow to elbow, I was fully prepared to smile, sip wine, and nod through her endless manifestation journey monologue. I wasn't there to start anything. I swear. But then, somewhere between the lobster bisque and the overpriced Caesar salad, Jenna brought up her new business idea. It's a vibe coaching platform, she said. Like life coaching, but centered on aligning your personal aesthetic energy with your goals. I'm calling it Evolve, with 2 E's at the end. Someone clapped. Someone else said wow. My mom beamed like Jenna had just announced she'd cured cancer. And I laughed. Not a big laugh. Not a mean laugh. Just a quiet, reflexive chuckle because, come on, vibe coaching? Evolve? Jenna looked at me across the table like I'd just insulted her unborn child. What's funny? She asked, voice already cold. I tried to brush it off. Nothing, it's just, I didn't know that was a thing. Big mistake. She set her fork down. It is a thing. And if you weren't so negative all the time, maybe you'd understand it. Suddenly, the whole table went silent. My cousin stopped mid-bite. My dad shifted in his seat. Someone dropped a fork. And that was when I made the comment. The one that lit the fuse. Jenna, you've started 5 businesses in 4 years. Maybe the problem isn't my negativity, it's that no one around you ever tells you when something sounds ridiculous. Yeah, that did it. The silence after I said it felt radioactive. You know when everyone's pretending to chew just to avoid making eye contact? That was the table. Jenna's face turned so red I thought a blood vessel might pop. My mom looked at me like I'd stood up and flipped the table over. And then Jenna said, real slow and icy, wow, so now I'm a joke to you? I set my fork down. No, you're not a joke, Jenna. I just think someone in this family should be honest with you instead of clapping for every single half-baked idea you throw on a vision board. Boom. Nuclear. My aunt gasped. My cousin muttered, Jesus Christ. My brother whispered, not tonight, Tay, like I'd done this 100 times before, which, for the record, I hadn't. Jenna stood up. Not slowly. Not subtly. Full dramatic rise from the table like she was walking off the set of a reality show. I don't need this kind of energy in my life, she snapped. This is exactly why I'm building Evolve. Because people like you suck the light out of every room. Then she grabbed her purse and stormed out. Half the table followed her: mom, Aunt Rachel, cousin Lisa. Like I'd just kicked off some kind of emotional evacuation drill. Dad stayed frozen in place, quietly chewing like he could eat his way through the awkward. And me? I just sat there. Still. A few people trickled back in after 20 minutes, kind of pretending nothing happened. But the mood was gone. The whole night turned into a weird, echoey dinner where no one really knew what to say. I picked at my food, paid for my own meal, and left. That night, the family group chat exploded. Jenna. Just so we're clear, if anyone thinks Taylor was right for what she said tonight, you can exit this chat. I'm not letting low vibration energy into my space anymore. Aunt Rachel. She was cruel. That wasn't honesty, that was jealousy. Cousin Lisa. You've worked so hard, Jenna. Don't let haters dim your light. Nobody defended me. Not one person. Not even my older brother Nate, who's privately told me before that Jenna's business ideas are just rebranded Pinterest boards with different fonts. And then came the kicker: my mom, who has never taken a side in any sibling fight, wrote, Taylor, I think you owe your sister an apology. That was not the time or place to bring something like that up. I didn't respond. I left the group chat instead. The next morning, I woke up to 5 missed calls and a voicemail from my dad saying he was disappointed in how I handled things. But you know what? No one mentioned the truth. Not one person asked if maybe, just maybe, what I said had merit. Because in my family, peace always wins over honesty. Even if it means letting someone live inside a delusion just to avoid ruffling feathers. And this time, I ruffled the hell out of them. The fallout didn't die down. It evolved, pun intended. Over the next week, I got ghosted harder than a bad Tinder date. No calls. No texts. Nothing but radio silence from people who had once asked me to dog-sit, bake cookies for baby showers, and listen to them cry at 2 a.m. when their boyfriend liked someone's photo too fast. Gone. And I'll be honest, at first, I second-guessed myself. I replayed the dinner 100 times in my head. I wondered if maybe I had crossed a line. Maybe I could have chosen my words more carefully. But then I remembered. This wasn't about how I said it. It was about the fact that I said it at all. In our family, Jenna's ego has always been bubble-wrapped. You don't question it. You don't prod it. You just nod, smile, and repost her inspirational Canva quotes like it's gospel. So when I finally called it out, they treated me like the enemy. But here's where things got interesting. A few days after the dinner, I got a DM from someone I hadn't talked to since high school. Megan, one of Jenna's old college roommates. She wrote, "Hey, random, I saw some vague drama on your sister's story. Something about family betrayal? If it's about her new business, just FYI, she pitched that same idea to my company's marketing team 6 months ago and they rejected it. Like, laughed it out of the meeting." She attached a screenshot of an internal email someone had leaked to her. The subject line? The Evolve proposal, not viable. And the first line? No clear structure, no experience, all branding fluff. Feels like a grift. I stared at it in stunned silence. So it wasn't just me. This thing Jenna was ready to cut off her entire family for had already been dragged by professionals. And yet, I was the villain for saying it lacked substance? I didn't know what to do with that information. I wasn't about to forward it to the group chat like a told you so. I didn't want revenge. What I wanted was validation. And I started getting it. Privately, of course. One by one, little messages trickled in. Not public support, but the whispers. "Nate, my brother. I didn't say anything in the chat, but you weren't wrong. Jenna just doesn't handle pushback well. My cousin Derek. Dude, she asked me for $1,000 to invest in Evolve. I told her I'd think about it and she blocked me on Instagram. Even my Aunt Rachel's daughter, the one who gasped at dinner. Thank you for saying what literally everyone is thinking. My mom is terrified of Jenna." And that's when it clicked. This wasn't a family. It was a cult of not rocking the boat. Jenna had everyone so wrapped around her manicured finger that telling the truth even politely was seen as betrayal. Honesty was dangerous. Doubt was disloyalty. So I stopped feeling guilty. I stopped explaining myself. And I started drawing boundaries. I didn't rejoin the group chat. I didn't show up for the next family dinner. When my mom texted, "Jenna's still really hurt, you know," I replied, "So am I." Then I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and went back to living my life, less drama, more peace, and for the first time in a long time, a little self-respect. But then, a month later, Jenna reached out. And what she said? Yeah, it changed everything. It started with a single text from Jenna. After a full month of silence. No dramatic apology. No fireworks. Just, "Can we talk?" I stared at it for a long time. My gut reaction? Delete it. Block the number. Let her sit in the echo chamber she built. But curiosity got the better of me. So I replied, "Talk or lecture?" She wrote back immediately. "Talk. Just talk." So we met. Neutral ground, coffee shop, middle of the day, where neither of us could throw anything or dramatically storm out without knocking over someone's cold brew. She looked different. Not physically. Emotionally. Like she'd been trying to hold it all together with string and glitter and ran out of both. "I've been really mad at you," she said, skipping hello. I noticed. She looked down at her coffee. "But I've also been thinking about what you said." That surprised me. "Not the way you said it," she added, "but what you said. About people not telling me the truth." I waited. Let her sit in it. "You're not wrong," she continued. "People do baby me. And I kind of expect it now. Like, if someone isn't clapping, I assume they're against me. But the thing is, I've burned a lot of bridges that way." I nodded. I wasn't trying to burn one. I was trying to keep ours from collapsing. She didn't say anything right away. Just stared at her drink like the foam had answers. Finally, she said, "The Evolve thing? Yeah. It's dead. I blew through $2,000 trying to make it work. Even Ethan backed out. I blinked. Wait, Ethan? She rolled her eyes. Don't ask. Then, softly. I should have come to your show last year. I was being petty. And I saw the photos. Your work was amazing. That hit harder than I expected. We sat in silence for a while. Not tense, just quiet. Like neither of us knew how to walk this path back, but we were at least willing to look at the trailhead. I'm sorry, she said finally. Not just for the dinner. For making everything about me. For expecting everyone to protect my ego instead of helping me grow. That was the first real apology I'd ever gotten from her. Not defensive. Not guilt-trippy. Just honest. And for the first time, I didn't feel the need to win the argument. I just said, thank you. Things aren't perfect now. We're not magically best friends. I don't repost her stuff. She doesn't show up to every little thing I do. But there's balance now. Boundaries. She checks in, sometimes. I check back. And the rest of the family? Still complicated. Still messy. But they've stopped treating honesty like it's a virus. Even Mom has softened. She apologized in her own weird way by dropping off a plant at my apartment with a note that said, for your energy. Honestly? I'll take it. Because the truth is, the comment I made at that birthday dinner did blow things up. But sometimes, you have to burn it all down before people finally see the smoke. Sometimes, honesty doesn't ruin the family. It rebuilds it with fireproof walls.